What if I told you? 10 inmates walked straight out of a New Orleans jail like they were clocking out of a shift at Walmart. And the real twist? They didn't do it alone. Nope. They had outside help with Cash App, contraband phones, and even turning off the toilet water like this was some kind of jailbreak version of Fix My Plumbing. This wasn't Prison Break with tattoos and genius plans. This was TikTok level dumb, sponsored by bad decisions and worse security. Welcome to the dumbest prison break of the decade, exposed right here on the Rank Mogul Show. Let's get into it. Alright, let's get into it. 10 inmates. Yes, 10 grown men walked clean out of the Orleans Justice Center like they were headed to happy hour. And how did they do it? A broken toilet, a thirsty guard, and some stolen blankets. I kid you not. This ain't Prison Break, this is Looney Tunes, Jailhouse Edition. Let's break it down. So, it's around 10:45 p.m. While most people are watching Netflix, these dudes are running a whole escape plan that looks like it was sketched on the back of a honey bun wrapper. They started with a clogged toilet, and not just any toilet. One so nasty that the water had to be shut off in the whole housing unit. Now, for most people, that's a problem. For these guys? That was the starter pistol. No flushing meant no noise. No noise meant less guard attention. And less attention meant it was go time. Here's where it gets ridiculous. The jail had been dealing with plumbing issues, and instead of fixing them, they said, "Hey, cut the water." Boom, step one unlocked. Then came the guard, bless his soul. This man got threatened by an inmate and still helped him escape. Now pause right there. If you get threatened, and your response is, "How can I help you, sir?" You were either hypnotized or helping from the start. 'Cause either somebody's lying, and it ain't the toilet. So what's the next step in this raggedy jailbreak? Stolen blankets. Yeah. You heard right. Apparently, they stuffed the stolen blankets into the window grates, used them to muffle noise while they popped off the panel, and slipped out like a bunch of dollar store ninjas. Some even climbed through holes in the walls, which tells you this facility is held together by dreams and duct tape. Now, let's roll the tape. These dudes weren't sprinting. They weren't panicking. They were moving like it was casual Friday. One guy even paused at the door like he forgot his keys. Another pulled his hoodie up like that was gonna stop facial recognition. Sir, you're not Batman, you're booking it with a warrant. And you know what's crazier? Some of them had already been caught with contraband phones, were known to be aggressive, and still got housed in a unit with broken plumbing, zero functioning locks, and guards who look like they'd rather be scrolling TikTok. This wasn't a security breach. This was a group project where everyone failed, including the building itself. We've got names like Victor Mitchell, Tory Johnson, Bruce White, Cordell Landry, and more. 10 of them in total, each with a rap sheet longer than a CVS receipt, and all of them gone in the night like reverse Santa Clauses. And this wasn't one clean getaway, no. They left the cell empty, the bunks cold, and the guards saying, "Wait, where'd everybody go?" I'll tell you where they went: straight into the news cycle and onto the Rank Mogul Show. Because nothing, and I mean nothing, about this escape makes sense. Imagine sitting in jail and realizing, all I need is a stopped up toilet, some stolen linens, and a guard who folds under pressure faster than lawn furniture. New Orleans. We gotta talk. This ain't Shawshank Redemption. This is Waffle House energy in a maximum security facility. And before y'all try to spin this as a complex operation, stop. It was low budget chaos, held together by group chat plans and misplaced faith in institutional plumbing. But don't worry, this mess gets messier. Stick around, because in part 2, we're talking about how social media, baby mamas, and $20 Cash App requests played a role in this jailbreak circus. You don't want to miss it. Now look, if you thought part 1 was wild, grab a snack, because part 2 is straight up RICO charges meets TikTok drama. These 10 inmates didn't just escape. Oh no. They had help, and not from some movie level criminal mastermind. They had help from inside the jail, outside on the block, and from people who sent them Cash App like they were paying for brunch. Let's start with the inside man. There's a correctional officer, let's call him Officer Thirsttrap, who allegedly got threatened by one of the inmates and then mysteriously started cooperating like he was auditioning for a new position. On the outside. Now pause. If you're a trained jail officer, and an inmate tells you, "Do what I say or else," and your next move is, "Okay boss, should I hold the door too?" We got a problem. You're not an officer. You're a concierge with handcuffs. The real tea? He might have been promised money. Or worse. He thought he was about to be TikTok famous. Word on the cell block is, the inmates had contraband phones and were texting, calling, and FaceTiming their friends, family, and probably their plug. And people outside the jail were actually sending money via Cash App to help fund the escape. Yes, you heard me. People were out here like, yo, free my boy, he just needs $40 for a lift and a Gatorade. What? So let's get this straight, you in jail for aggravated assault, but still got better cell service, social media presence, and financial backing than half the people working a 9-to-5? Where is the lie? They was buying burner phones, coordinating outfits for the escape, and even using real-time GPS to figure out which way to run. One guy was tracking the guard shifts like it was an Amazon package, out for delivery, your freedom. But here's where it gets even dumber. Apparently, someone on the outside actually came to pick up one of the escapees. They pulled up like it was curbside pickup. Hi, yes, I'm here for Cordell. Party of one. He should be in an orange jumpsuit, very sweaty. So now we got accessory to escape charges for whoever showed up like Uber Freedom. All traced back to social media DMs and Cash App usernames. How you gun break out of jail and then get caught cause you left a digital tip. $25 for services rendered. Thanks for helping me escape, 100 emoji, money bag emoji, fire emoji, hashtag free me bro, are you dumb? Not only that, some of these dudes were literally updating people while they were still in the jail. One guy posted, "Bout to be out disjoint soon," like he was clocking out of a shift at Popeyes. Then there was baby mama drama because of course. One escapee allegedly told his ex, "I'm free now, come see me." And she snitched. Imagine risking your life, squeezing through a crawl space, only for your ex to be like, "Yeah, he at my cousin's house eating flamin' hots and watching Netflix." Caught in 4K. But the reason this all worked? Because Orleans Justice Center had more holes in it than a busted strainer. Broken locks. Broken plumbing. Broken protocols. And now? Broken reputations. And while all this was going down, guess what? Some of the guards didn't notice until roll call the next day. That's a 10-man head count. Not 100. 10. If your job is to count to 10 and you still fumbled it, I'm sorry, but math just isn't for you. This whole situation proves one thing: social media is undefeated. You can't break out of jail and still be on Snapchat without getting caught. You're not Jason Bourne, you're just jail Jason with Wi-Fi. And now? Most of these inmates are back in custody. Not because of some federal task force. But because they couldn't stop texting. Imagine pulling off a prison break, only to be undone by bad signal and a loud X. Phew. Coming up next in part 3, we're gonna break down how the justice system reacted, how local officials scrambled to cover the mess, and why your cousin who used to work at the DMV swears this was an inside job from day one. Don't go nowhere, the Rank Mogul Show ain't finished roasting yet. Now look, when 10 inmates disappear from a jail like it's open mic night at Shawshank, you'd think the city would spring into action like the Avengers, right? Wrong. The Orleans Justice Center's response was more like the Scooby-Doo gang with less coordination and more finger-pointing. By the time officials realized what had happened, some of the escapees had been free for over 24 hours. Let that marinate. 10 grown men vanished. And the reaction from city officials was basically, well, let's circle back after lunch. It took them a whole day to even figure out they were gone. You know how many birthdays, barbecues, and baby mamas you can visit in 24 hours? These dudes had time to escape, rest, rehydrate, and probably argue over who gets aux cord privileges in the getaway car. But let's talk about the real clown car in this circus, the city's press conference. Officials pulled up looking shook, stuttering through a statement like, yes, we take this very seriously. And we are, conducting a full internal investigation. A full investigation? Sir, this ain't a mystery novel. This is a real-life episode of How to Lose Your Job in 10 Escapes. And let's not forget the warden. This man got up on the mic like he was reading the back of a cereal box. We're currently reviewing procedures. Reviewing protocols. And reviewing what happened. Translation: we have no idea how this happened, but we're gonna use big words until y'all stop asking questions. Meanwhile, reporters asked, was this an inside job? And officials blinked like NPCs in a video game. Possibly. Possibly? Sir, the only thing more inside than this job is the plumbing that broke to start the whole mess. Which, by the way, is still not fixed. Yes. The toilet that sparked a 10-man jailbreak is apparently still malfunctioning. What in the Home Depot hell is going on in that facility? Let's just be honest, this was less of a prison and more of a casual adult sleepover with lockable doors. Except half the locks don't work, and the guards are either asleep, distracted, or being bribed with gas money and Zelle transfers. Now the mayor jumped in talking about accountability. But here's what accountability looks like in this city: A few guards suspended. One or two moved to desk duty. And a spokesperson saying, "This should not have happened." No kidding. This is like saying, "Oops, we let a lion loose in a daycare. Won't happen again." Ma'am. The lion is on the playground. Let's not forget the public backlash. The community roasted everybody involved. Facebook comments turned into live stand-up comedy shows. People was like, "Man, I can't even get out of student loans and these dudes out here walking out of jail like it's Walgreens. Y'all can't keep the potholes fixed or the prisoners locked up. What exactly do y'all do all day?" Even local rappers started dropping diss tracks. One song literally said, "Broke out of jail, now I'm breaking into Cloud Orleans, got the loosest locks, y'all should just let us out." Now let's talk money. Because this whole blunder? It's expensive. They gotta repair the damage, launch investigations, tighten security, and probably hire PR folks to make it all sound less like a sitcom. And who's paying for that? You. The taxpayer. You clocking in, checking your direct deposit, and meanwhile, it's funding a real-life reboot of Escape Room, Louisiana edition. But don't worry. The city promises they've learned their lesson. Which is politicians speak for, we gonna duct tape the toilet shut and hope for the best. They're already drafting new policies, retraining guards, and installing more cameras. But here's the thing. You can't fix stupid with supervision. You can't secure a jail when the staff treats it like a group chat with uniforms. This wasn't just an escape. This was a masterclass in mismanagement. And while some of the inmates are back behind bars, a couple still haven't been found. Let that sink in. 10 men walked out. Cameras saw them. The toilet warned them. And still some are out here living like fugitives with a group chat. Welcome to America's most embarrassing jailbreak. And this ain't over. Because in part 4 we're breaking down who's still on the run, the bounty hunting chaos, and how TikTok detectives are doing better work than half the force. Now look, we already saw 10 inmates moonwalk out of jail like it was open house at the Orleans Justice Center. But let's talk about what happened after the Great Escape. Because the manhunt that followed? Let's just say, Jason Bourne they are not. Law enforcement kicked off a citywide search, which is fancy talk for, we driving around in circles, hoping they pop up at their mama house. And guess what? Some of them actually did. Yup, a few of the escapees were caught chillin' like it was Thanksgiving break. One got caught trying to sneak back into his old neighborhood wearing the same clothes he escaped in, bruh, not even a hoodie switch up? You out here running from the law dressed like it's your mugshot cosplay. Another one? Got caught ordering food on DoorDash. The audacity. Sir, you're supposed to be laying low, not putting your real name on a spicy chicken combo. But here's where it gets even crazier. While the police were fumbling the search like a toddler holding Jenga blocks, the internet showed up like it was CSI, TikTok edition. You had people on IG Live saying, "Yo, I went to school with dude. He hiding out on 7th Street. He owe my cousin money." TikTokers turned into full-blown detectives zooming into surveillance footage, comparing it to old yearbook photos, and even tracking escapees through baby mama drama posts. One user uploaded a video with the caption, "Jailbird number 6 spotted in line at Popeyes." Real story. I got the video coming. And she did. The video showed one of the escapees in the drive-thru, arguing about spicy versus mild. Sir, you on the run, not on a lunch break. Now, while some were getting clowned and cuffed, others vanished into thin air. Still on the loose. As of right now, several of the 10 escapees are still MIA like a group of ghosted Tinder dates with warrants. And let's be honest. The only real progress in the manhunt came from people who wanted clout, ex-girlfriends with vendettas, and hood bloggers trying to go viral. Let's break it down. Law enforcement, still knocking on doors like Jehovah's Witnesses. Social media, dropping coordinates, addresses, and DMV photos like bounty hunters with ring lights. The city, spinning in PR circles, saying stuff like, "We are closing in on all escapees." Sir, y'all not even closing in on lunch break at this point. One escapee had the nerve to make a Facebook post that said, "Free till they catch me, cool face emoji," like it's a promotion. Bro thinks this is a sponsored ad for being elusive. The comment section under that post? Nuclear. You better run faster than you type, fool. They gun catch you at your cousin Keisha house like always. At least update your profile pic. You've been looking dusty since 21. But let's really talk accountability again, shall we? Because the only people who seem to be doing their jobs? Regular people with Wi-Fi. One dude said, "I'm not even mad anymore. I just want to see if they make it on America's Dumbest Criminals." Spoiler alert, they will. And shout out to the bounty hunters out here moving like GTA side missions. They said, look, I'll find him for $500 and a Red Bull. And let's not forget the conspiracy theorists. You got folks online saying, this was all a distraction. The aliens helped them. Y'all sleeping? Sir. Please log out and go drink some water. Bottom line? The streets are watching. And in 2025, you don't need a badge to be a detective. You just need a ring light, good Wi-Fi, and a petty vendetta. The internet turned this escape into a 24/7 manhunt reality show, and honestly, they winning. Police still asking for tips. Meanwhile, TikTok detectives dropping GPS coordinates, snap maps, and full last known outfits like it's Project Runway, Fugitive Edition. So what have we learned? Criminal's gonna criminal. Cops gonna fumble. And the internet? Gonna expose everything before brunch is even over. This ain't a prison break. It's a damn group project, and the only ones passing are the trolls. Coming up next in part 5. We break down the memes, the music videos, and the absolute foolery that came out of this escape. This manhunt got a soundtrack now because of course it does. Stay tuned. Stay roasting. So, let's talk about what really made this prison break legendary. The internet's response. Because once these 10 inmates busted out like they were auditioning for Fast and Furious, Riker's Drift, the internet did what it does best. Turn tragedy into a trending topic. First up? The memes. Oh, the internet wasted no time. One dude posted, POV, you escape jail and realize you ain't got no Uber credits. Another had SpongeBob walking out of a jail cell like, I'm a head out. And don't even get me started on the Shawshank Redemption edits. People were putting escapee faces over Andy Dufresne's body like, he crawled through 500 yards of S and came out smelling like crawfish boil. Twitter was on one. Somebody tweeted, they broke out of jail to go back to their baby mama's house and still not pick up the kids. Sir. We need peace in the home before peace in the streets. But then came the SoundCloud rappers. Because what's a national embarrassment without a hood anthem? 2 hours after the escape hit the news. Somebody dropped a diss track called Toilet Water Freedom. Yes. A whole song. Chorus was like, musical note emoji, turn off the toilet, turn off the fear, we out the pen, it's inmate of the year, musical note emoji. Another local rapper dropped a remix called 10 Deep, No Sheets. Folks made TikTok dances to it. There's literally a viral trend where people pretend to escape from their laundry room. The blanket slide challenge had folks sliding out of bed like, bout to slide on my 9 to 5 like them boys slid out that cell. Then came the fake movie trailers. One was titled, Escape from NOLA, starring Tyrese, Boosie, and the ghost of Tupac. Plot synopsis? 10 brothers. 1 toilet. 0 plumbing. This summer. Freedom smells like bleach water and betrayal. Another fan favorite was, Ocean's 10, Bayou Edition starring, a dude named Lil Porkchop, a baby mama with 6 burner phones and a correctional officer with a crush and no pension tagline? This ain't no Alcatraz, it's Alcatragic. Let's not forget the celebrity reactions. Boosie went live like, man, them boys out, and I ain't mad. They was locked up over dumbass anyway. Plies dropped a 3-minute Instagram rant with a bonnet on, if the toilet broke, that ain't on them. That's poor plumbing. You lock a man up and cut off the flush? I'm breaking out too. Even Judge Mathis chimed in, they guilty, but let's be real, that jail staff dumb as hell. YouTube comedians did full reenactments. One skit titled How the Guard Really Helped Them Escape had a guy in a fake CO uniform like, y'all got snacks? I'll turn off the cameras for 2 honey buns and a Newport. We had rappers, preachers, uncles at the cookout, everybody giving their commentary. Grandmas on Facebook live like, back in my day, if you escaped jail, you stayed escaped. These new boys want to be famous. The news? Still trying to be serious. Authorities say the escape was methodical and coordinated. Meanwhile, TikTok comments, nah, they just took turns holding the door open. Let's call it what it is. This was less Mission Impossible and more Mission, I'm possibly dumb. And the fact that social media solved more of this case than the task force? Iconic. By the end of the week, there were 16 parody songs, 4 TikTok trends, 9 fake Netflix trailers, and a GoFundMe titled Help Me Escape Next We as a Society? Need a timeout. But also, give the internet a raise. Because y'all turned a failed prison system into content gold. Final thought? If your jailbreak ends with your mugshot going viral and your escape turned into a TikTok dance, you didn't break out of jail. You broke into the culture. This has been the Rank Mogul Show, where foolishness meets fame, and every escape turns into entertainment. Catch us next time when we break down how a Florida man tried to rob a Dollar Tree using a banana. And still got tackled by a fourth grader. Stay loud. Stay sharp. And remember, if you see something dumb, rank it. We out, fire emoji.